What do you think the league's response, just coming out right away and getting that investigation going?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech. And obviously, the women in this league, they know that, and know there's no space for that. And I believe that every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect and want to come to work and just have fun and have a great environment to work at. So I think they've done a great job putting that out, and we're obviously just going to respond as they need to.
Wow. Congratulations. You made the big time. The quartering actually acknowledged your existence. Clay Travis, the WNBA announces that after an investigation, they found no racist comments from Indiana fans. Shocker, I know. Angel Reese lied. She's Jussie Smollett with a worse shooting percentage. Still no comment on Brittany Griner's blatant racism, though.
Controversial moment that's been circulating in the WNBA. One that involves two of the league's biggest names, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Racism, allegations, fan conduct, and an official investigation. Here's everything you need to know, step by step. Let's rewind to May 17, 2025. A heated game between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever. Tensions were already high when Caitlin Clark delivered a hard foul to Angel Reese midway through the third quarter. Reese reacted strongly, trying to confront Clark before teammates and officials stepped in. The crowd erupted, and not all of it was positive. Following the game, Angel Reese claimed that in addition to being loudly booed, she also heard racist comments coming from the stands. The WNBA quickly launched an investigation into these serious allegations the very next day, on May 18th. On Tuesday, the league announced the results of that investigation. After speaking with fans, team staff, and arena personnel, and reviewing both audio and video from the game, the WNBA said they found no evidence to support the claims of racist behavior from fans. WNBA statement. The league reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining a safe, inclusive environment and emphasized it would continue to enforce the fan code of conduct. In response, Angel Reese opened up about how difficult the experience has been, but also expressed gratitude for the support she's received. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. Angel Reese. She mentioned that the organization and the league stood by her and highlighted the emotional toll of hearing hateful remarks in the middle of a game. Just hours after the WNBA's announcement, Reese took to Twitter. She didn't directly dispute the league's findings, but her post suggested this isn't something she's brushing off lightly. This moment brings up larger conversations around race, athlete treatment, and the experience of women, especially Black women, in professional sports. While the investigation didn't find proof of racist behavior, it's clear this incident left a mark. Following the WNBA's statement, social media lit up with a mix of reactions. Some fans praised the league for acting swiftly and thoroughly. Others criticized the outcome, saying it's hard to capture everything through video and audio, especially if inappropriate comments were made in a crowd setting. Just because there's no video doesn't mean it didn't happen. Glad the league took this seriously, even if no proof was found. It raises an important question. What counts as enough evidence? And how can leagues better protect players in these situations moving forward? Caitlin Clark, who was at the center of the foul that triggered the moment, has not made a direct comment on the racism allegations. Her hard foul sparked the reaction from Reese, but her silence since then has been noted by fans. Some believe she should have spoken up in support of her fellow player. Others argue she's being unfairly dragged into a situation she didn't create. This incident isn't isolated. For years, Black athletes in the WNBA have spoken out about unequal treatment, whether it's from fans, media, or the league itself. Angel Reese is just the latest example. For instance, players like Brittany Griner, A'ja Wilson, and others have all spoken about bias in how they're perceived and treated. When Angel said, "If it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone," that hit deeper than just this one game. The WNBA says it's staying vigilant. But the question is, what are the next steps? Will there be increased fan monitoring? Will players receive more support during incidents like these? Could there be league-wide discussions or education campaigns? This could be a turning point, or just another forgotten news cycle. It's up to the league, the fans, and yes, even us in the media, to keep this conversation alive. Angel Reese showed courage by speaking up. Whether or not evidence was found, her experience matters. This isn't just about one game, it's about creating a better, more respectful environment for every athlete on the court. Moments like this test the league and its players. So far, we've seen an outpouring of support for Angel Reese from both fans and fellow athletes. In fact, one of the strongest messages sent wasn't just from the league office, but from the sisterhood within the WNBA. This shows that even when official investigations reach a conclusion, the emotional and cultural fallout continues to ripple across the league. Let's talk about the media. Depending on where you looked, this story was covered very differently. Some focused on the investigation. Others zeroed in on Reese's reaction, even painting her as overly emotional or dramatic. Clark-Reese rivalry. Heats up versus Reese claims. Racism. WNBA finds no proof. Why does this matter? Because how stories are framed affects how players are perceived and remembered. Media bias, espionage. The WNBA now faces a challenge and an opportunity. Will they let this moment fade? Or will they set a new standard for how to protect players, not just physically, but emotionally and culturally? Zero tolerance. Fan zones. Player feedback committees. Mandatory fan behavior pledges public fan bans when necessary. Whether it's clearer reporting systems, real-time monitoring, or better post-game protocols, something has to change. Let's be real. This league, this game, this moment belongs to all of us. Players give their all night after night, and they deserve more than applause. They deserve respect. That's not political. That's basic. If you go to a game, be the kind of fan your favorite player would be proud of. If you hear hate, speak up. Because silence is complicity. Angel Reese isn't just a star on the court. She's a symbol of resilience, of representation, and of what it means to speak truth even when it's uncomfortable. That's more than a quote, that's a warning, a wake-up call. Because sports don't exist in a vacuum. They reflect who we are as a culture. And how we respond to moments like this defines us just as much as a game-winning shot. Will fans treat Angel Reese differently in future games? Will Caitlin Clark eventually address the incident? How will the WNBA improve crowd oversight going forward? Will this moment bring more unity or more division? You guys had a lot to say after our last video on the Clark-Reese rivalry, and here are some standout takes from the community. It's not just about race, it's about media bias and what sells. At Court Vision 23, we need more players like Reese who aren't afraid to speak up. At Hoops Talk, real. If you've made it this far, thank you. You care about more than just scores and stats. You care about the soul of the game. Moments like this shape legacies. Not just Angel Reese's or Caitlin Clark's, but the legacy of the WNBA and what kind of future we're building for the next generation of women in sports.